Welcome to GZR Ground Zero Radio. Thank you to everyone who's been tuning in to hear our show tonight and listen to all this fantastic original music. We greatly appreciate you and hope that you are having a good Monday night. Well, I'd like to introduce to everyone who's listening out there in Radio Land or on the internet. Welcome to the show, Kirk Lane.
Hey, Kirk.
Hey.
Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we all doing tonight? We're having a great night, I guess.
There we go.
Straight
right into the Irishman.
Nice. Straight in from Ireland, I hear.
Yeah. Seattle, Ireland.
Right.
Either way, yeah, it was a great little time away. But yeah, so glad to be here, you guys. That track was amazing. That was really inspiring listening to it before. I was, you get a little nerves, before you do something like this. And so it was just nice to kind of ease the nerves and hear some amazing music. So, but yeah, really excited to be here.
Well, you're all around family here anyways, right?
Well, it feels like it. We've just been talking. We've known each other for quite a while. And so it's been great to share this musical journey together as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I hear that you are working on putting together a debut album of original music.
Yeah, debut solo album. And I've done an album before with a band, the band Devon. Mm-hmm. And it's been some time since I've done some original stuff, but just recently I had the opportunity to record a song that I'd written back in the 90s. It's called Tomo. And it was a buddy of mine that I had actually known through. I do a lot of stuff with our local community theater as well.
Wonderful.
So one of those guys. So I've been in a couple musicals, but I also do music. And I play in bands that, the corporate bands that do kind of the cover stuff. But I had the opportunity to record a song that I'd written in the 90s that had never made it to an album, even though we'd played it with the band before.
Gotcha.
And so we'd been in a production of Mamma Mia, buddy of mine named Pete. And so he said, hey, I'm looking for a live band to record something for his final student project. And so I was like, hey, I can do this. I'm available. And so I have a music room at my house. So he came over one day, and it was actually just about a year ago. And we did this song, Tomo, that I'd played, before, but it never really done on my own. I'd always done it with the band. And so I recorded all the tracks, or Pete recorded me playing all the tracks. So it was a, 6-string acoustic, a 12-string acoustic. I played the bass. I played my Les Paul. I played a Telecaster on it. I played an egg. I played a tambourine. I did like 5 vocal tracks. And we did this all in my music room in about 4 hours.
Wow.
And he just brought in his, little Focusrite machine, a little mixer. He had a couple of decent mics, and we just set it all up. And, whenever we could get the dog not to bark, we would record it, track.
Right. It sounds like my house.
Exactly. And so we put it all together. And like I said, we did this in like about 4 hours. And so he took it, and with, no direction, just this is what I have. This is something a song that meant a lot to me, that I'd written many, many years ago. And I just, I'd love to archive it.
Sure.
So he took it and he did his thing with it. He added a couple of little like beats to it because we didn't really have like drums per se. And he did well, very well, as I'm told, with his actual project. And the one thing that he gave back to me that I thought was amazing from his, his teacher, his professor, he said it was very Beatlesque. And
Can't beat that.
Yeah, that they've done a few things.
Sure, yeah.
I've heard of them, yeah.
Some walrus thingy or whatever, but yeah.
Submarine,
exactly.
Or other.
So that was, it lit a fire in me, honestly, because that, the Beatles being the band who they are, big impact on me, music itself. I had been doing not my stuff, and then I got a chance to record my stuff. I got some good feedback. I really liked where the song went from kind of where it was before. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I have so many more of these songs.
Right. Yeah.
That I played and maybe recorded on like a cassette recorder, or maybe, at a bar or a gig where they give you, a cassette of it or VHS or whatever. So I might have a couple of those, but I know I have folders of all this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So going through this, it was like, hey, you know what? I'm over the 50 mark. I've got 3 kids. They're adults. I've got
5-0 mark.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
lucky dog.
Yeah. And I would love to get this music that had a life at one point and revive it and add where Kirk Lane is at now in 2023, 2024, right? After going through what I've gone through, personally, musically, professionally, where these songs that are kind of the heart of an idea or a thought that I had when I was in my 20s or 30s, now in my 50s, and I look back, how is that song, does it need to be changed, or is that still...
How's it fit today?
Is it still saying a message that, would make sense today? So I've started kind of rummaging around and grabbing some of that stuff and putting it together. I'd wanted to get into this a little bit sooner. My pops went through some health issues, as you know.
I do. Yeah.
And so that was, kind of a good reason to okay, I'm going to focus some time back on Dad and the family and everything. But then it rekindled. And so, and then, I had saw that you got involved in this project here.
Right. Yeah.
And we had a couple discussions, and I think because I got, my amp from you.
That's
you
right.
Tuned it up, and then I got one of the pedals from you.
That's right. You have that too.
Yeah. We had some discussions, and
yeah, he's an endorsee.
Totally. Man, those amplifiers, I tell you what, it's got so much tone. It's got so much, just the right amount to grab you, not totally, take you away, but yeah, it's a powerful
I appreciate
sound.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate
So we had some great discussions there, and I got to see your studio where you guys rehearse and where you recorded some stuff.
Yep.
And I got a really good buddy that you and I've talked about, Joey Delgado and the Delgado brothers, and they're doing some great, original music.
Yes.
They've been around for a long time, and they're really, really good friends of mine. And so I've been able to see them a lot lately and been able to hang out with Joey and do some stuff. And so I know he's got a studio, so I've got this pile of songs, and I'm going to go, hey, Tris.
You got to do it.
Pick one of these. and hey,
yeah.
Joey, pick one of these.
Yeah,
Then bring in friends, nothing but friends. Someone I've played with or have some sort of musical connection with. Obviously, my daughters, my daughters also sing and do some instrument and stuff.
That's great.
So I have them come in and be on a couple of a couple of tracks. Just people I've played in bands with, people that I've, or maybe that I haven't, or I've just jammed with. To come in and just, here's the song. It's not going to be complete until we have everybody's little bit into it. So, and again, it's really just, the motivation of it is archival. But then I see some of my good friends that are like playing the Coach House and places that I'd played a long time ago when I was in Devon. And that was such a great inspirational musical time for me. And so it's kind of like a bucket list for me now is, hey, let's get this original stuff together.
Yep.
Let's get a band together that can play it, and let's get some gigs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I haven't done a lot of original gigs in a while. You know, when I do some of my gigs, people ask for originals, and that's obviously an inspiration.
Absolutely.
And so you just pop in a couple of your stuff, the ones that think will work, and then just keep playing the stuff that they're there for. But now I've got that, like I said, I've got that fire, and I've got that basis of it. I think I probably have 8-9 songs that I would even consider. And then you've got always the 10 songs that are always there. You just haven't quite put to paper,
right?
Or record,
finished up.
So, and then I also have some other songs from some friends that I've been a part of, kind of like co-writing, that I want to be on that as well. And then obviously have them be a part, whether it's the instruments or whether it's the vocals or whatever. So
that's awesome. It's a good story, and I can add to it. I think we ought to play one track and have some folks hear what you have been up to, at least lately. And you shared a great story about this tune you wrote. To Mo, we're going to play that track right now. So here we are, Kirk Lane.
Hopped in my truck, starting to find my way home. Thought I'd return by nightfall, but I wouldn't return until dawn. Met these takes me. There she stood smiling, as real as can be. She said, do me a favor, just be honest with me, because I've been on this earth long enough to know man ain't honest, it will show. Listen to me and don't let go. We've got all night, let's take it slow. We've got all night, let's take it slow. We sat in a room, looking through the roof at the sky, pondering all the possibilities of how and where and why. Leaned down next to her, the fear ran away from her eyes. We put our arms around each other, we held through the night, because I've been on this earth long enough to know man ain't honest, it will show. Listen to me and don't let it go. We thought all night, let's take it slow. We thought all night, let's take it slow. And to leave the next morning, hating to say goodbye, but I know it was worth the time by the look in her eye. As I drove down the highway, I can still see a smile. Thank fate for bringing us together, even for a little while. This earth long enough to know man ain't honest, it will show. Listen to me and don't let it go. We've got all night, let's take it slow. We've got all night, let's take it slow.
All right.
Kirk Lane,
There we go, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Mo.
Yeah, so that was the song that Pete put together for his final project. So, again, considering we had 4 hours and just kind of going through it all, I thought he did a really good job, and I thought it was a great representation of the song. So, again, it was really a motivator to get back into doing the original thing. Yeah.
The lead vocals and the added harmonies and the hook.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. And the harmony layering was very Beatlesque. I agree with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was. I appreciated his approach. Once he heard the song, it was like, I'd like to try this, I'd like to try this, and so he really gave himself some options so that he could do some of that layering. And then again, he added some of the beat tracks that came in. So yeah, no, it was. It's very difficult, as you know, when you have something that's yours and you're giving it to someone to kind of create and shape. It's the whole analogy of the baby and letting him out and. It can be difficult, but people can do some amazing things, and so that's something I'm proud of, obviously, to put out there and excited about improving upon, if that makes sense. So,
oh, definitely,
yeah. So, but that's definitely one of the songs that is going to be featured on it, and stuff from different times in my playing career, and hopefully some new stuff too. Absolutely.
So it's interesting because this falls into the story of what we were talking about earlier, which is you and I have known each other for at least 20 years.
Right.
And a period of your time was kind of like mine, where I took a break from music.
Yep.
I've heard never to say you quit music because then you're being penned as not really a musician. Somebody told me that the other day. So it's like I can't say I quit music for a said period of time, but I did.
Right.
I just walked away from it or whatever. But the interesting is you continue to play. But the story I'm getting to here is that I was a vendor to you, and neither of us knew for 10 years that we played music together.
Yeah.
And this has come to me several times now in my life, now that I've just throw it all out there. But it's so funny.
And was the discovery at a lunch, or did we just run into each other at the NAMM show?
I think it was probably something like that.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Well, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we find out what we've been up to.
Right.
And I think the internet has a lot to do with that, because I think at one time you were playing in the Irish thing, right?
Yeah.
And you were busy booking that sort of stuff, and you were always asking me to come. I'm like, what are you talking about? You played guitar, and then I saw the videos and all the live stuff, and it was just rocking. So, I mean, it's odd how music people seem to sense other music people, but I don't know why those conversations don't come up, in business. They do now, because everybody I talk to, I almost, start with that. By the way, I'm a guitar player.
Well,
they're like, yeah, well, that figures,
I'll make this very easy for you, because it's going to be important for me, and to talk about my life in original music is to talk about the band Devon.
Okay.
But specifically out of what you just said, here is the start of Devon. I'm a college student.
Yep.
I believe it's a sophomore year, because my freshman year I was a soccer player. So I played at Cal State Dominguez Hills. Anyway, I transferred to Fullerton. I take a speech class, and Rose Stapati, who was the professor, gave out a questionnaire the first class. And one of the questions is, are you a musician?
Wow. Really?
And
no one's even asked me that in my entire life.
I wrote, I'm a musician, put my name on it, went around the whole classroom. Gentleman by the name of Steve Veen writes, I'm a musician. We connect, because that was the whole point of the exercise.
Okay.
Hey, you're a musician. Cool. What's up? Oh, I play drums. Steve Veen, I play drums. Oh, I play guitar. Oh, yeah, I have these guys that I went to high school with, and we do the Sunday jam at a dairy, because they live out in the Chino area. Right. So it's literally
where it's legit.
It's
real dairy.
Quite literally a dairy house, and it just smells wonderful. And these guys all get together. So, but going back to what you said, that's how Devon started.
Yeah.
Because we both filled that out in college. We both said we were musicians, and that started what has been, a band that is not even really officially not apart or, broken up.
Yeah.
Considering the lead singer's in Puerto Rico, it's hard to do gigs together every once in a while, but
yeah.
But it was a big part of my musical journey, because that was, like most kids in high school, I was into sports. I played soccer, but loved music, Zeppelin, punk, new wave. It was the 80s for me. So,
yep.
So there was just, and I grew up in the high desert. So
yeah, you did. That's
it
right.
was, kind of a very unique environment. It's not down here in, Orange County, where you had the surf scene, the punk scene. It was, it was kind of distinct. We were in the desert. We didn't really have anything quite yet.
That's a good point, because the Upper Desert has their own music thing up there. Like
Yeah.
Kings of the Stone Age came out of Yucca Valley. I mean, who would you expect?
Yeah,
you know?
Queens of the
Right?
Stone Age, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I was just like soaking it all in. So took guitar lessons, I think, when I was 10, because you're a kid and you have to take lessons on something, and piano didn't seem cool enough, so I did guitar. And it sat in the house in Apple Valley. I was at school. Someone wanted guitar lessons, so I went back and restrung it and started playing guitar again. And immediately get into find out my cousin plays, and so he's got a buddy that's a bass player. And then we meet Steve Veen, and he's a drummer, and then it goes from there. And then you do covers just because you're learning and all that. But immediately you have that desire to like create your own stuff. So
I think that's the synergy here with this show. It's all about original music. That's what we're focusing on, because no other station that we're aware of even has an original show anymore.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole background of this. Michaela comes from that, which is really refreshing, which is, no, it's got to be original. We want to hear people write their own music and their songs and create art, if you will, And that's, hearing that you have so much in a backlog is exciting, because you definitely do need to get that recorded. And I remember you coming to my studio.
Yep.
We're going to discuss recording at my studio.
Yep.
And we're going to go through some songs and make that happen.
Yep.
But I think that was prior to COVID, right?
It wasn't prior to COVID. It was kind of prior to my dad's health issue.
Oh,
thing.
okay. All right.
And so that kind of is the thing that kind of delayed it for a little bit. But
well, that's not now. So
that's not now.
Yeah.
And I've given myself a target date, like I said, of spring of next year.
Good.
Because again, I know I have a solid 8 songs. Probably have 12. I just would have to spend some time with it, and like I said, some new stuff beyond there. And then it's just getting with you and getting with Joey and finding some time to get some demos in, and then get it together and kind of understand the instrumentation and who I'd want to put on each song, and then make it go from there. So that's the goal. Discussions have been had. We've briefly discussed it. I've talked about it with Joey. Most of my musician friends have heard the story about, Kirk's going to put out a solo album.
Yeah.
And again, it's like it's archival was really that driving force. But just finding those songs again, because I know they meant so much to me at the time.
Right. Yeah.
But it's also like when you're in a band and you're doing your thing. Speaking about Devon. And if you're not the lead songwriter, and I wasn't the lead songwriter, the lead singer Greg was, and he wrote amazing music, and so it was a majority of Greg's songs. Mm-hmm. But on the album that we put out, I had a couple of them, which are Questions and Brand New Start, formerly known as Capo on the Third. So. That was another thing I think that really planted the seed for me of like, okay, I can really do this, because we were like in a legit studio, and we had a producer and we had an engineer, and the thing that was really cool was it was right in the late 90s, so it hadn't quite fully gone digital. So we actually recorded analog on 2-inch 24-track a Studer machine. Yeah. And legend has it, it's actually the same machine that Rush recorded their first 3 albums on.
Wow.
So Eddie and Wolf from Jab Studios. It's a long story about they were looking for a tape, reel to reel to record on, and they went through a zine, because we didn't really quite have the internet fully there yet.
Right. Yeah.
And they go through like the interview process or whatever. So anyway, that's the theory. We believe it. So Devon's still above water.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
But it was a legit studio and had a sound booth, had everything. It was a great experience. 2 weeks in the studio for us, but having to have a couple of my songs on there was pretty cool. And so I've been revisiting those, and again, when I have that opportunity, I'll play those songs if people request original music.
Yeah,
at some of the corporate gigs or restaurant bar gigs type things.
Definitely.
That I do. So that was another motivator as well. Is like, we didn't have live music for a long time, right? When we were going through the pandemic.
Yes.
So So it was nice as it's starting to go back. People are really looking for, okay, yeah, we want to hear what we know, but in the same breath, we also want to hear the new creative stuff that's going on.
Very true, and mixing it up is the key, you know, because you're trying to get in front of as many people as possible.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know, that's part of it. Okay, so we're looking at this tune called Brand New Start. How appropriate for this evening for you to come in here. So give us a
Agreed.
little background on this before we play this one.
Yeah, so this, like I said, this song was affectionately known as Capo on the Third because I couldn't come up with a name for the song. And oddly enough, Capo's on the third. So this was a song about our band because Devon, when we started, you know, we were like, I think when we started, there was a mix of both doing covers and original stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what the gig was, like how, you know, crazy of a dairy party it was, we might play some of our originals.
I've heard about those dairy parties.
Yes, yes.
Oh my.
They're yeah.
Should I cover my eyes and plug my ears now?
You know, I'll say this. There are many friends that I have that had we had video and the idea of Jackass, we did it probably a decade prior. We just didn't have it on tape, so we can't prove anything.
A dairy party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those Dutch individuals, they
They
have
know.
a zest for life like none I have ever seen. They have the ability to consume copious amounts of joy juice, and they're good people. They're good family people, and I'm a Norwegian guy, so you know. But I fit in with them, and so Brand New Start was really the band had kind of broken up a little bit. We got back together, and as you listen to the lyric, it seems like the meaningless things are always the ones that tear you apart. So
Wonderful.
that was it. So let's take a listen.
Here we are,
and,
Brand New Start.
Yeah.
It seems like the meaningless things are always the ones that tear you apart. lasted so long. Glad to see that we're back here. Share a joke, a smile and a tear. 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 Glad to see we're back here. Glad my friends that we're back here. Glad to see that we're back here. Glad my friends that we're back here.
Kirk
Nice.
Lane.
Wonderful.
Brand
Thank
new
you.
start. Brand new start for you.
Yes.
In your journey to putting together your debut album of original music. Spring of 2024 is your projected
Yes.
release date for that.
Yes.
And I will definitely just send good vibes your way.
Thank you.
For just, great recording experiences and, the record just the way you want it.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
And I
Yeah.
appreciate too that you shared that this is for this album and putting these songs down, permanently recording them is for archival purposes. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. That's cool. It's interesting how different songwriters write for different purposes or reasonings. Some people just want to be staff writers. They're down with that. They want to be that.
Yeah.
Other people write just introspectively. Doesn't matter if anyone ever hears it. They just want to get the song out of their own heart
Yeah.
and onto the tape deck.
Yeah.
To archive experiences in your life
Yeah.
or songs you've written in your life
Yeah.
and the archival purpose too. So I appreciate that you mentioned that.
It was very important to me, and as I mentioned before about the journey with my dad's health, I was very close to my father, and I had memories that were there, and memories that you remember because you've seen the picture a bunch of times, or maybe you've watched the tape or whatever else, and I stopped and went, man, I really hope that my kids and the people that I would leave behind have an opportunity to go, hey, this is where Kirk was at this point, right? This is where we were at, because these songs that are going to be shared and re-sculpted possibly, or maybe just kept as they were, and new songs that are come in. My songwriting technique is really just it's life. That every song is something that actually happened. I would like to really try and step away from that and go towards hey, this doesn't have to be like my own personal experience and put together. That Greg, who's the main songwriter from Devon, I think he does a great job of that, where it's not specifically a story of his life, but it's definitely something that passes along a message and has that same feeling that it's something. So I want these songs to be there, and for me to remind myself,
Yes.
I listen to this.
Absolutely.
I listen to the song right now, Brand New Start, and I go, that song came out in 1998. At that point, my oldest daughter was, 6 or 7, and then I have 2 more daughters since then, and wonderful relationships and professional career that's been up and down, and music has always been there. Maybe not in the original format, but the music is always there, just so that I could keep those juices going, and stay sharp and improve and learn from others. And so this is just going to be a great time for me to archive and at the same time make a memory, right?
Right.
Imagine
Yep.
being in the studio with my daughter.
Yeah.
Or with a very good friend that I've, gone through a lot of life experiences with, and I get to make music with them, just like Tris and I, who we're a professional relationship, and then we find out we have this music, and now here we are 20 years later, and I'm playing his amplifiers, talking on a project that he's involved in, and meeting wonderful people that love music just as much as we do, and
That's right.
on all genres, and just your lead-in track, I still am like, can't wait to hear it again because it impacts you, and that's music. That's what I, kind of wrote in my bio was one commonality amongst the world is music.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what language you speak. Someone starts beating on something. Someone starts humming a melody. Everyone would move.
Right.
They react to it.
Right.
Everyone's impacted by it.
Everyone. Yes, you're right.
So it just gives you that amazing feeling to listen to it, but to create it, yeah. It's incredible.
To create it, to be the creator of it. And it's like birthing another child. It's close to that because
Absolutely.
It is your heart, your thoughts, your experiences, your memories put into words, now put into a relatable beat that everyone can tap their foot to. Now everyone's tapping their foot to your life experience that you just shared.
Yep.
Cool beans.
And how many will go, I have a similar experience, and so I relate to it.
Right. Yes.
Or I wish I had an experience like that. Or,
all of that.
You touched on something because as a songwriter myself, I'm more on the case of creating a story that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think there's an honesty issue in the other way to go, such as what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's really laying it all out there. In other words, I've written stuff before, and I'll get inevitably somebody will say, well, what's that about, or who's that about? I'm like, I have no idea. It just, was a bumbling of words, and I put them together, and this is kind of how I felt at that moment, but not really any kind of a big, heavy story behind it.
Yeah.
But I think that's cheating. I'll admit it.
No. You have just pointed out yet another reasoning and style of songwriting, because there are thousands of songwriters with your ability like that to write a song about something or around a hook or something that is not attached to your personal, this is my life story song, right? Or this is my experience with this song. And that is a skill in and of itself that I can't do. I can't just write a song about this guy down the street walks his dog. I don't know. What am I going to say? The only thing I can formulate words for is something I just felt or I experienced. So you need to.
I think you're making me feel really good about this situation.
No, that's honest. And I know every songwriter would totally agree with that.
Yeah.
That is yet another style and reasoning for songwriting, and not everyone can do that, and not everyone can do that.
Right.
Yeah. It's interesting, huh?
Well, and the one thing I was just thinking of when we were having this discussion about that, personal and whatever, I've been playing for so long, and I feel like I should have so much more. And I think the reason why is because every song is me, and I'm giving it to the world, and I don't quite know everyone out in the world. So how are they going to accept this, right?
Yeah, right.
Because I'm giving them a personal side of me.
Yes.
And that's difficult to be able to present that. And so I would like the freedom to be able to do both, I think, because I feel I would write freer if I was storytelling. As it is to most of my music up to this point has been autobiographical, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Well,
it's going to be interesting to see the tunes, because we'll definitely get together.
Well,
and,
I would honestly rather hear them.
Yeah.
But seeing them played live,
Yeah.
seeing them played live or in a video, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. So I digress.
He has such a great presence live.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do. Anytime if you watch the videos and stuff of him up there, I mean, he's kind of, you're not quiet. I mean, you're definitely
No.
but but on stage he's a presence.
Yes, and we noticed because
That's the way to put it.
we did check out your socials and your YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah.
And you also have a great speaking voice. Your
Yeah,
voice
I
projects
do.
very strong,
Thank
and
you.
and that's awesome for interviews.
Yes, I do a little voiceover work. So,
Ta-da!
Well, there we
yeah.
go.
Obviously,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can see. Yeah, well, I can hear. I just said I can see.
See, I told you.
I can hear.
CCC.
Boy,
Well, music paints a picture.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
it does. You're absolutely right.
So see.
Well, I have a question.
Yes,
There's a song called Questions.
there is.
So my question
I'm
is,
familiar with that song that you speak of,
are you?
called Questions.
My question is, would you be willing to share with us something about this song?
Oh, absolutely. I was a young father, and I was married young, and we were only together for a couple of years. She's an amazing individual. Her name's Julie. We actually just celebrated our daughter's 30th birthday together.
Wow.
In August. And we had always made it a point after that, after we split up, that we didn't want anything to come between the raising our kid.
Right.
Didn't matter what our thoughts or feelings were. This child had needed to have every opportunity to, grow up in a positive environment. And so I'd just gone through this divorce, and was trying to figure out what happens now, and have this little daughter, and got this job, and I'm trying to figure it all out, and I had a bunch of questions, and it became a song.
Wow.
Awesome. Let's check it out.
Questions.
Feels like the snow is quick to melt. Feels like the sun beats into your soul. It looks like the wind has blown the day away. And as the black begins to cover the sky, moons are full and the stars are so bright. Air is cold and your breath fills the to my questions, to my questions, to my questions, to my questions.
All right, questions.
Love that jam.
Thank
Yes.
you for answering
As the
my
kids
question.
say.
My pleasure.
You know what? Did you use in that recording electric bass or
Yes.
stand-up bass? You know what? That song would also be cool with stand-up bass, like
Oh,
in a
yeah.
live situation.
Yeah, absolutely,
Right?
absolutely. Very driving song.
The guy
Right.
spinning it
Yeah.
right.
Boom, boom,
or
boom,
standing
boom,
on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I love when they stand up on there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That, I think that song really defines you. You know, it's rocking. I can just see
Yeah.
you sending that tune off the stage.
Absolutely. Just it was
Yeah.
always a great song to play.
And I also love the dynamics between the actual lyrics and how up-tempo and fun and danceable the song is. Because if you just took the lyrics alone, it's really an introspective thought that you're sharing. Man, what are the answers to my questions? I have these questions. I'm in this place in my life. What do I do now? Seriously, those lyrics alone could go in several other directions
Yeah.
melodically.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
So this interesting contrast, if you will, of the actual lyrics and what you do with the music just made this song so much fun. And everyone's going to sing around my questions.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
singable.
no,
It's
it got-
catchy.
It got people up, and it was a great song for us. We usually played it towards the end of the set, just because it was a memorable song. And it's and I think really the music came from kind of that angst that I had at the time, right? And I had that. I didn't want to. I had to understand those thoughts and those questions that were going on. But I was this guy and I wanted to go, and so I needed to get it out. And I think that's where the music came from for me when I wrote it. So, and just still love listening to it, which is great, But again, you're putting yourself out there. So, and I'm putting myself out again all these years later. And that's, but I think that's part of it. And I think that's what music can do. So, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. I would say that's the name of your record right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm seeing it. I'm good at that. I can paint the whole thing.
Or Brand New Start.
Brand
Or a brand new start.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of
True.
like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Depends. Have to sit back. Well, I know you will.
Yeah.
You'll sit back and you'll look at what you decided upon
Yeah.
the songs you picked to be on that album, and it's going down in permanent record history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, which
No pressure.
what are no pressure in picking the title of your album. Sometimes it's hard enough to pick the title of the song.
I honestly have probably picked 29 album titles in the last 2 years, like since I first thought of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'll be out walking the dog and something will happen. I'll be like, that's the name of my album.
Walking
And-
the dog.
Yeah, Walking the Dog, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and of course I don't probably written none of them down. But,
Well, those kids did that White album, and they did pretty well.
yeah.
True, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember
Yeah.
the name of
Yeah.
the band, but
Yeah.
I do remember the
Yeah.
album.
Yeah. Put out an album that's blue.
Something like that.
Red. Whatever.
Nice.
All right, so let's give our listening audience and your current fans and your new fans your social media addresses. Where can they find you?
Yeah. So, I'm on Instagram, Facebook with Kirk Lane Music. And I got a little bit of a YouTube channel. I need to give it a little bit more love. I have to admit that. I've been spending too much time for, I'm also in some corporate and cover bands and stuff, the Darryls. So you can follow them too. We're always a great time.
Yeah.
The biggest thing
Great-
is just
great
support
group.
live music. Because without it, then we don't get that opportunity to create this stuff and play. So go out and support it and write your own stuff, man. Like people think it's hard. It is hard, but it just starts from just putting those thoughts down. And sometimes it's therapeutic too, as well. So get out there, create.
Go.
Excellent. Love that.
There, cheerleader Kirk Lane in the house. Yes, I love it.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Yeah,
Maybe we can talk you into doing the voiceover little thingy for Ground Zero Radio.
Hey, absolutely. I am 100%
That would
on
be
board
cool.
for that.
That would be really
We
cool.
can get our jingles going.
Yeah.
Get
That
our
would be
jingles
awesome.
going. Absolutely.
Kirk Lane, thank you so much for getting off that plane and
Yeah.
hauling it over here. I appreciate you doing that, even though I know you're jet lagged. So
It's all good. It's been absolutely great. Again, this has been such a to do it with a friend is great. To meet new friends is even better. To get inspired is absolutely the best part of this. But
Awesome.
absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share and especially playing some of the music and having the chance to talk about it. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing here.
you're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.
Yeah.
And we will be here same time, same place every Monday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time, right here on Ground Zero Radio. You can also listen or follow us. First of all, let me start with socials. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And we have a GZR Ground Zero Radio playlist as well, where you can always listen. Turn on that playlist. Just go ahead and turn on that playlist, and you will. There's quite an assortment of the songs from the original artists that have been on this show. So there's quite a variety of new original music to listen to there. You can also listen to the rebroadcast of these interviews on our YouTube channel. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you very much. Have an awesome week.